Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ambassador Andrew Young.
Well, if you're here, you've met the future, and it is us. This is an amazing place. If you can believe it, conceive it, and believe it, we can achieve it. And there's been that kind of can-do spirit here from the beginning. I don't know why. It might be in the water, but I think it's in the fact that when we face a crisis, rather than run from it or deny it, we embrace it and grow through it. I've been blessed to be a part of this for the majority of my life, and it has been really a roller coaster ride, but it's taken off like a rocket ship. But I remember back shortly after I became mayor, Manuel Balloof called me from DeKalb County. They said, "Andy, we need a water treatment facility, but we don't have enough money." I said, "We need a water treatment facility and we don't have enough money." I said, "How much you got?" He said, "We got 20 million. I said, "I think we got about 20 million, but we need about 50 million. He said, "Gwinnett has just had a moratorium on building because of a lack of sewer capacity." He said, "What do you think we call Lee and Webb and see if we can get together and they can run a pipeline to our system and we're already connected and we can put together what we need for water treatment." I said, "Fine." And just that simple, it was a done deal. We came together and made things happen that needed to happen. It was very little politics, very little bargaining and arguing. The same sort of thing happened in the airport. A young man came down here from Wall Street. Nowadays, I don't know why they don't like Wall Street. Wall Street's been good to us. Even when we couldn't get into Washington, we could get into Wall Street. And he told Maynard, "Look, we can build this airport even if you don't have the money." And they created this enterprise zone, which is the Atlanta airport. And to my recollection, I can't even count how much money we've put into it. But over the last 30 years, it's been something like somewhere around $21 billion. Who's counting? Because it ain't our money. It's Wall Street's money. And the mayor just signed up for $6.5 billion more of it. And there was no controversy, no argument. He and Richard Anderson of Delta just sat down and said, "We need, I don't know whether it's the 6th or the 7th runway. We need another international terminal for these 3-story planes that are coming in. And we just as well go ahead and put a hotel out there so that people don't have to get upset when they have to change going internationally or coming in from international." So we read about it in the paper. And my estimates are that somewhere around $20 billion now generate somewhere around $40 billion in economic impact every year. And there are over 400 to 500,000 jobs and counting. In fact, Mayor Reed says that by the time he leaves office, he expects that airport to generate about $50 billion annually and produce 1 million jobs. That's not happening anywhere else in the world. London is still fighting to try to get a 3rd runway at Heathrow and not doing very well. But then there's the Olympics. They wouldn't even let Billy Payne I mean, everybody could come into my office. I had an open door policy for people off the street. It didn't matter whether you were broke or whether you were a billionaire. You didn't need an appointment. Come on in, and whatever you got, we'll try to deal with it. And yet here comes this guy talking about the Olympics. And they wouldn't give him an appointment. And I said, come on, what's the matter? They said, well, we know you always wanted to go to the Olympics and were never good enough. And you might get together with him and you'd go in out of office, leaving the city pretty even. And Montreal is $700 million in debt from 1976. We figure you and Billy get together and all it'll mean is you'll throw the city in debt. When I talked to Billy, I found out that this was an idea that had come to him after a heart attack at 34 and his new involvement in the church. Well, I'm a preacher. And that's the way the Lord gets your attention. Sometimes he has to knock the hell out of you to get you to slow down and think and be open to new ideas. So when I counted in the book, there were 85 votes. And we figured we could put together about 55 of those votes. So we could get the Olympics. How are we going to pay for it? We pay for it as a private nonprofit corporation using no government funds. I said it's a deal. And I'll be darned if we didn't pull it off and raise $2.5 billion privately and end up with almost $100 million left. And we did it in such a way that it was the largest Olympics ever, the most people and the most countries, and profitable. Why did we succeed at all these? Basically because everybody's included. It's kind of a y'all come city. If you can believe in us and we can work together, there's very little, if anything, we can't do. That's the spirit of Ivan Allen. That's the spirit of Dan Sweat, Harry West, Ernest Barrett, and all of the others amongst us that have watched this city grow. But the country has probably never been so challenged. The world has probably never been so challenged. We are right now more anxious and more divided since, the Pilgrims left England and Holland and came here because they didn't like the way the Bible was being read in England and they wanted to do it their own way here. Well, we're here. And most of us came with that kind of religious faith. And that kind of religious faith led us to dream, and to dream big. And we believe that all things are possible because we realize when I came here first to a YMCA conference when I was in high school, the Ku Klux Klan was marching down Auburn Avenue. When I came back later on, Ivan Allen had gotten Bofele Jones of the Woodruff Foundation, Martin Luther King Sr., and Calvin Craig of the Ku Klux Klan sitting down on the same executive committee planning the future of Atlanta. And that evolved into a spirit of regional growth and cooperation. And it didn't matter what party we were, it didn't matter what color we were, we didn't matter where we came from. There was something about this place that made us want to work together. And we found that if we included everybody, maybe the most significant thing was Mayor Sam Massell saying, look, we're unfair to the poor to charge them 1 cent sales tax before they have to pay for MARTA. So he reduced the the bus fare from 55 cents to 15 cents for 10 years to be fair to the poor. And so rich and poor, black and white, young and old, male, female, gay, straight, wherever you come from, you come here to this place and it's like we are the world. And I can't think of a better place to take on the challenges of the remainder of the 21st century, to heal this nation after the wounds of the present election, and to lead us forward to fulfill the opportunities for all of God's children the way we have been blessed ourselves by working together. We are a blessed people. From now on, we come together to pass on, to pass out our blessings, and to make this world much more like God's kingdom. God has blessed us. Let's pass on those blessings.